Today I'm going to talk about foundation for different skin types and how to choose makeup products for those skin types. Let's divide the foundation into two types, matte and glowy. So which skin type fits which foundation? Your base makeup might look cakey or there will be some other problems if you choose the wrong foundation. So it's very important that we choose the right product. Now let's talk about skin types. First, it's oily skin. The characteristics of oily skin are visible and enlarged skin pore, acne, redness. The skin looks shiny and often has breakouts. So if your skin shows any of these characteristics, you might have oily skin. Now think about it. If we apply glowy foundation on oily skin, the pores will be more visible and the blemishes on the face won't be covered. So if you have an oily skin type, the matte foundation is a good choice. Now, if your skin is easy to get irritated, scaling, flaking, also if you have fine lines and wrinkles, or makeup wear off easily, then you might have a dry skin type. In this case, glowy foundation fits you, because if you apply a dry or matte product on dry skin, the flaking issue will be even more severe. We have to understand which skin types we have so we can choose the right product. If your skin has both characteristics of dry and oily skin, then you might have a combination skin type. For example, oily skin in the T-zone and drier in the cheeks. In this case, you will have to not only hydrate the skin, but also moisturize it. We can use matte foundation on the T-zone, which is oily, and glowy foundation on the cheeks. Now, we have three skin types here. You can choose the right foundation for yourself based on which skin type you have. Next, let's talk about glowy products. From primer to setting powder, actually, all the steps and products are important. But the most important key is the last steps, which is makeup setting. Say you use glowy primer and foundation, but use a matte setting powder at the end. It will take away the glow and your makeup will become matte. So let's talk about products which makes the skin look glowy and bright. We can use brightening cream or shimmery primer after your skincare routine to do the brightening and color correcting. For foundation, we can choose foundation cushion compact or liquid foundation with shimmer. I'll suggest using liquid foundation for your base and cushion compact for touch-up. There are some other supplementary products to help cover the blemishes, such as a highlight stick. We can apply highlighting on the tear trough or laugh lines to brighten these areas. It works very well when doing studio photography. The highlighting product will make the sunken area look a lot smoother. If you want the face to look more fair, then choose products that have a pink tone in it. Or if you want to look more natural, then choose products with a more yellow tone in it. The last step is makeup setting. We can choose a setting powder or loose powder with shimmer in it that will make your skin look glowy. The key point is to not use matte products if you want to create a glowy look.
是很重要的。那这时候我们就可以选择带一点珠光的蜜粉饼，会比较清透。然后或者是说带一点珠光的粉饼，这些都可以。但是呢，它就是绝对不可以是雾面的，就对了。所以在我们的光泽底妆的产品呢，你可以在 各种刚刚说的一些产品上面来做选择，我们都属于是比较有光泽性的。好
So, like I have said before, if you have a dry skin type, then choose a glowy foundation. Also, if you have flaking skin, or your skin is in a good condition without obvious blemishes, glowy foundation will be a good choice for you. One of the main key of glowy makeup is where you highlight. If you want to create a V look or increase the three-dimensional look, then you can highlight above the cheekbone, out from the corner of eyes, and the T-zone. Also, you can highlight the tip of the nose and nose bridge to make the nose look taller. If you have healthy skin with only a little bit of blemishes, like visible skin pores, some acne, please avoid these areas when you highlight the face. It's recommended to use matte product on these spots, so the blemishes can be covered. It's very important to choose the right product for different skin types.
你也可以在我们 T 字跟我们山根跟鼻尖的位置来做一个加强。那这边有很重要的重点哦，如果今天你可能就是大部分皮肤还不错，但是你还是可能有20%或30%，可能皮肤状况不是很好，例如毛孔很大，或者是说可能比较有一些痘痘的一些部分，那记得你要避开毛孔明显处来做光泽肌的提亮。那个地方呢，如果你今天有瑕疵呢，你就必须要使用的是比较雾面的定妆。这个时候它才有办法做隐形，所以选对产品是很重要的一件事情哦。
Next, let's talk about matte products. If you have an oily skin with enlarged skin pores, acne scarring, or other visible spots, you can use soothing cream or pore minimize primer after your skincare routine to soothe your skin. But some products won't go well with water because it will wash off. So be aware of the texture of the product you use it. If you want to create a matte look, then we can choose a matte foundation which has full coverage. Often, people choose matte or full coverage foundation because they want to cover up blemishes on the face. In this case, don't choose glowy products. And if you have very obvious acne scars or teardrop that you want to cover, apply concealer partially on the face, but not on the whole face because then it would end up looking like a mask. Basically, use foundation to deal with 90% of the skin problems and 10% using concealer. Use orange tone concealer on dark acne spots to correct the color. The final setting step for matte looks are, instead of using brushes to apply setting powder, use a dry sponge or powder puff because the sponge or powder puff have more solid texture to set the powder on the face. Choose matte pressed powder or loose powder depending on how your skin condition is. Pressed powder can control more oil than loose powder.
雾面的底妆的定妆啊，你可以使用粉饼加上干的海绵，或者是粉饼再加上干的粉扑。为什么呢？因为像这种比较扎实的一个粉扑或者是海绵啊，你在上的时候啊，它的遮瑕力会是最好。如果你今天拿一个大刷，再加上粉饼的话，它的效果定妆效果其实没有比较好，因为刷子比较容易就是让它看起来比较清透。所以今天我们的重点是要遮瑕的话，我就会建议比较用扎实的海绵或者是扎实的粉扑来去做定妆这个动作。当然，你也可以选择雾面的蜜粉或粉饼，那就要看你今天出油的状况怎么样。因为以定妆效果跟控油力来讲，比较好的其实是粉饼。好，那雾面底妆。
So, if you have oily skin, acne, or large pores, then matte foundation is the right product to go with. The main point of the matte foundation is the conceal. it's recommended to use oil control products. We'll have to choose the right product to create a nice matte look. Now let's talk about contouring and highlighting for the matte look. We can choose a matte contouring stick or matte contour powder to create pronounced facial features. Now, let's talk about makeup applicators such as the beauty blender, foundation brush, concealer brush, makeup puff, and loose powder brush. These are good assisting tools to do the base makeup. I personally like to use the foundation brush to apply the first layer of the foundation, then use the concealer brush to conceal blemishes. Lastly, I will take a damp beauty blender to touch up the makeup. Some people like to only use the damp beauty blender through every step, and that's totally fine. Just be aware that you shouldn't make the beauty blender too wet, because it might wash away the foundation.
遮瑕刷来做一个遮瑕，最后我会用维诗的美妆蛋来做整理。那有些人他可能就是从头到尾都喜欢用维诗的美妆蛋来做也可以。那重点是说，那个湿度不要太湿，太湿的时候，有时候你在沾那个粉底，很容易就会又被你沾出来，然后就是都不在脸上。好，所以这个部分大家可以就是看自己的习惯来选择不同的底妆产品。
Next, I want to talk about highlighting and brightening. Some people might think they are all the same, but actually there are still some small differences between highlighting and brightening. How so? Brightening is based on a larger area, such as T-zone or the whole cheek area. And highlighting is based on the highest point of one area. For example, the highest point on our cheek area is the cheekbone, so I'll focus on highlighting this specific spot. The highest point of eyebrows area is the brow bone, so I'll highlight this point. For the T-zone, we brighten the whole T-zone and we highlight the nose tip and lip peak. So, basically, we brighten the area and highlight the point. Next, let's talk about how to contour different face shapes. Everyone has a different face shape, so we have to understand which face shape we have so we can apply contour that suits our face shape. Let's take a look of the contouring products. Before the makeup is set, we can use liquid contour. It will sit better on the skin and also look more well blended into the foundation. Some will choose to use foundation as contour. If this is the case, apply lighter tone foundation on the T-zone and darker tone on the rest of the face. If you choose to use a contour stick, be aware to only use a little bit once, because the texture is much thicker than the foundation, and it can get very khaki if you use too much. Also, it's very important to blend it evenly. Also, you can use shading powder, which is powdery, after the makeup is set.
然后在修容的部分呢，它就会用比较深一点的粉底。它在打粉底的时候，它就不会是用同一个，它就不是同一个色调，是用2种或3种的颜色来去做调和。那另外呢，有些人他会用修容膏，但是这个部分呢，量要酌量，就是不要用太多，因为它的质地比粉底在浓稠很多，所以它不小心会变得太厚重，所以要把它均匀的推开很重要。那有些人他会用修容饼，修容饼它是粉状的饼状的，那这种话就是在定妆之后，我们可以再做一个加强。好，那
Now let's look at the following charts to understand how to contour different face shapes. There are different types of the face shapes. First is the round face. The round face tends to have a chubbier look, especially around the cheeks, so we want to lengthen the face. We can brighten the forehead, nose, and chin, and then contour the jaw and under the cheekbones to make the face look thinner. The contour is more focused on the edge of the face, from the ears to the chin. And secondly, we have the long face shape. For the long face shape, you will see that the cheeks are a bit narrower and the face looks longer. In this case, we can divide the forehead into upper and lower parts, contour the upper part, and brighten the lower part. Also contour the jaw and chin to make it look shorter. Another important step for the long face shape is that we will have to apply contouring horizontally under the cheekbones instead of applying it slanted to make the face less long. The third shape is the V triangle face. The characteristics of the V triangle face is a wider upper jaw and sharper chin. It almost appears like an inverted triangle. We can contour the upper jaw and part of the forehead to make the face look rounder. You can also highlight the chin, but it's not necessary. You can also use bangs to cover a little bit of the harsh lines. Highlight the T-zone and under the eyes. Next is the square shape face. Both the upper jaw and the lower jaw are more angled on the square face shape. So we will contour the upper jaw and the lower jaw to make it darker so the face doesn't look that angled. The square shape face tends to look flatter than other face shapes, so we can highlight the forehead, T-zone, and under eyes. Finally, we have the diamond shape face. You can see that the upper jaw and lower jaw looks narrow, and that the cheekbones are taller, so the chin looks sunken on the diamond shape face. In this case, we can contour on the cheekbones and upper jaw to make it darker, then highlight the T-zone so it won't look so sunken under the cheekbones.
在这个发际线这边留一点刘海的话，其实它也可以把这个角修饰掉。好，然后再来就是 T 字部位一样是提亮，眼睛下方这个倒三角形这个地方也是提亮。好，主要就是让我们修饰我们的上颚角比较锐利的部分。好，再来方形脸的部分呢，你就会发现它的特色就是上颚跟下颚都是带有角度比较明显的。那这样子的人呢，他在就是他的上颚这里跟下颚这边，他就会修的比较深一点点，让他可以就是让他的角不要这么的明显。然后你会发现说，因为方形脸的人，他其实就会变成说脸比较平面、比较窄，所以他的这个额头提亮的部分就会比较高一点点。那一样 T 字部分跟眼睛下方都是我们提亮的一个重点。好，然后我们的修暗的部分就是在4个角，上颚2个角跟下颚2个角，可以让我们的脸型比较柔和。好，再来看菱形脸的部分呢，你会发现说它的上颚跟下颚都会非常的窄。但是它的颧骨却会比较高一点点。那这样菱形脸的人呢，看起来就会变成说下巴这边会非常的凹陷。好，那所以他就会需要修饰它比较凸的地方，就是它的颧骨的位置。所以在颧骨的位置呢，我们就着重在这个地方呢，可以让它修得比较暗一点点。然后一样 T 字部位要提亮，然后上颚可以修饰一点点，好，边缘发际线的部分，它就可以柔和我们的颧骨的角度。可以让我们那个脸颊下方的凹陷处可以提亮，可以比较缓和一些。好。
Now I'm going to show you how to apply matte foundation and glowy foundation. As you can see, the model has pretty good skin, so she is suitable for the glowy look. But I'm going to do half of the face with matte foundation to show you the difference. Now I'm doing the glowy look. All the products I'm using for glowy makeup must be shimmery. First, I'm going to mix shimmery primer and purple tinted moisturizer. Then use the flat foundation brush to apply from the center towards the cheeks, and from chin upwards. Let's apply a thin layer.
粉底刷，从里到外，从下往上。
Don't miss the edges. Slightly brush through the eyes with the excess foundation.
边缘都要带到。
From the center to out the corner. And don't miss the hairline. Also remember to check if the foundation looks even on the edge. Pink tinted primer can correct the color, so I will apply some on the neck.
检查侧边有没有不均匀的地方，要刷顺。粉红色有校色的功能，脖子也要带一点。
Her chin looks a bit dull, so I'm applying a second layer. Brush until there's no brush strokes visible. I'm touching up with a damp beauty blender. Slightly pat on the face.
刷到没有刷痕为止。用微湿的海绵或者美妆蛋来做整理，轻轻拍打。再来，我们要挑选有光泽的粉底。
Next, I'm going to choose a glowy foundation. From the center to out to the corner, from the chin upwards. Slightly press and brush out the foundation to even it, one area at a time. Be careful to not make any harsh lines on the edges. It's better to have very little foundation on the eyelids, and it must be applied evenly, otherwise it will look dull around the eyes. And don't miss the under eye area. Touch up with the beauty blender to take out the excess foundation. Now I'm using orange concealer on the dark circles. apply it from the bottom up. It's better to use a fluffy brush to avoid a creasing problem. Next, I'm going to use brightening stick on the under eyes area. And apply another layer on the teardrop. Clean the under eyes after the color correction. Now I'm going to apply setting powder to set the under eyes. Next, I am going to use shimmer primer on the highest point of the cheekbones. I'm using the loose brush to apply evenly, 45 degrees towards the nose tip, and then touch up with the beauty blender to avoid harsh lines. Now I'm going to highlight the brow bone. Also highlight the nose bridge, lip peak, and chin. Touch up with the beauty blender again. Now I'm going to set the highlighting. I am using this peachy shade to highlight, brown shades to contour. Apply a peachy shade on the cheeks. And a brown shade on the edge. It can help plump up the cheeks. I am using a thicker texture concealer on the acne.
脸部有一些痘痘的话，我们可以用粘度较高的遮瑕。
The last step is the hydrating spray. Let the spray dry out naturally. Do not touch the face again, otherwise the makeup might be washed off.
喷完保湿喷雾要记得要让它自然吸干，不可以让它这个时候再去抹。这时候再抹它的话，它容易会掉，所以让它自然收干的时候，等一下透出来的光泽会看起来更清透，感觉是里面白里透红的感觉。
Now I'm going to do a matte look on the other side. The product we use will be totally different from glowy look. We still have to brighten and color correct the skin, but I'm not going to use shimmery products. First, I'm going to apply pink tinted primer without shimmer. Start by applying evenly from the cheeks. Apply it evenly on the whole face, otherwise some places might look dull. Don't mess around the eyes. If you apply too much, just simply use the beauty blender to take away the excess product. We also need to apply on the hairline. The chin looks a bit dull, so I'm going to apply 2 layers. Also apply pink primer on the neck to match the face tone.
"校色要一同，连脖子上面的色彩要一起去黄。
Next, I'm going to choose a matte foundation. If you are not sure which shade to use, you can try it on the gel lines and blend it evenly to see if the foundation shade looks too dark or too pale for the skin. If you see the skin looks gray after you apply the foundation, that it means the foundation shade that you choose it is too pale. If you want to use foundation as a highlighter, you can apply a brighter shade on the T-zone. So this is shade 10 and this is shade 20. I'll use shade 10 on the T-zone and cheeks, then shade 20 on the rest of the face. These are both the matte foundation with full coverage. I'm slowly blending it from the center to the side and touch up with the beauty blender. Make sure that there is no harsh line on the edges. I'm using shade 10 in the middle of the face. So now you can see it looks different from the other side of the face. Next, I'm going to color correct the under eyes. I'm using matte concealer to brighten the under eye area. This cream concealer has a thicker texture, so it will have more coverage. This is the concealer palette without shimmer. So I'm just using the lighter color to brighten the under eye area. Remember to set the under eye makeup. I will recommend using transparent setting powder. Because there are many fine lines under the eyes, so the lighter the texture of the product, the better.
它还是属于比较是膏类的产品，粘着性比较强一点。那我颜色上面选用就会比较亮一些，因为现在在眼下，我们需要提亮。但是我们这种提亮跟刚刚的高光提亮不一样，我们没有含一些大亮片啊、光泽性的质地，我们就是用雾感，但是颜色比较白一点，制造出一些立体感来。 好，记得眼下完之后一定要立刻定妆。这定妆我还是会推荐的是比较轻薄的透明蜜粉，因为眼周比较怕卡粉，所以用的质地希望越薄越好。
Sponge. Matte base makeup is very suitable for an oily skin type.
的话，你也可以使用比较雾感的粉底，再加上干的粉扑。
Make sure there's no creasing problem before setting the makeup on the eyelids. So now you can see, the one side is glowy makeup and the other side is matte.
.这样你就可以看到两边的差异。转一下，一边是有光，一边是雾感底妆。看得出来吗？可以。好，那接下来我第一趴还没讲完，就是我现在要讲那个修容的部分。好，我们已经示范完光泽底妆跟雾感底妆之后，
So we've already finished the matte and glowy base makeup on both sides. Now I'm going to show you how to do the contouring. Let's take a look at our model's face. She has taller cheekbones, so the contouring should be applied a little bit higher than normal. You can also apply highlighting on the chin, but most people like to have smaller chin, so let's focus on contouring the cheek area. The contouring products for glowy makeup and matte makeup are also different. As you can see, this palette looks totally matte, and the other one has a little bit of shimmer in it. I'm going to use the shimmer palette for the glowy makeup, then use darker shades starting from the hairline towards the corners of the mouth. We will make it darker on the hairline and fade away towards the corner of the mouth. So now you can see there's a triangle area here. Look at my hands as a V shape. Inside the V, it should be brighter. Outside the V is where you apply contouring. Now I'm going to take a smaller brush, then apply the brighter color on the highest point of the cheekbones, and slowly blend it away with the brush. Also highlight the brow ridge, forehead, nose tip, lip peak, and chin. Also apply a thin layer around the mouth.
也可以提亮，但量就会比较少一点。眉骨也可以提亮。
So this is how we highlight and contour a diamond-shaped face. If you want to have a stronger contoured look, you can apply matte contour powder on the edge of the hairline. It can also give a softer look on the face. Now I'm going to also contour the eye.
通常这个嘴角会比较暗沉，可以薄薄上一点点。
Now I'm going to also contour the eye socket and under the brows so the nose looks taller.
整体来讲，光泽肌的一个提亮到三角区，修饰这边最多。那下颚的话，如果有些人他还想要再加强一点点，我们也可以用雾面的，我们用雾面的修容，在发际线的部分，轻轻的薄擦一层在边缘的发际线。这样做法可以更修饰，让我们的脸型更柔和。
On the matte side, I'm going to apply matte foundation or contour cream on the cheeks. Blend it evenly, same way as I did the other side. I'm going to use a darker tone foundation on the highest point of her cheekbone.
眉毛下方这里可以加一点点修容，让我们的鼻子会更立体。
And blend it evenly with the foundation. Also touch up with the beauty blender. I'm also going to apply a less amount on the lower jaw to create a softer look. Now I'm going to use matte highlighting on the T-zone. The inverted triangle area under the eyes, and the brow bones.
轻轻的把它点压，跟旁边的粉底的颜色要做融合，一样从颧骨到嘴角45度。
All the products I'm using on the matte makeup side are without any shimmer. I'm just using the shading to create pronounced facial features.
下颚，这边量要再少一点点，让脸型更柔和的方法，可以在边际线来做。
Use the beauty blender to slightly pat the face to blend all the colors together. For the final step, I'm going to apply setting powder on the face using a big fluffy brush. You can also use a puff to set the makeup if you have oily skin. Now you can see the difference between the two sides.
明暗度来做提亮。眉骨、T 字部位鼻尖、整张脸可以均匀的按压，让它们彼此之间颜色可以融合得更自然。最后，如果要定妆，可以用大刷，加上透明蜜粉，轻拍按压。或者是如果你真的油性肌肤很容易出油的人，你一样是可以用粉扑，再加上定妆蜜粉，最后再整张脸压过一次。好，这样可以看到我们两边的差异。
So that's the makeup tips for different face shapes and different skin types. I hope you will like it. See you next time.